Gladiators bikie gang is almost an institution in the Maitland area. Yesterday, after months of intensive investigations, police raided the houses of 18 members in Maitland and Raymond Terrace. In an operation which lasted 8 hours, police seized a total of $40,000 worth of marijuana and associated utensils. They also seized 50 kilograms of gelignite, which has been removed for safekeeping. The raids uncovered other weaponry, including a sawn-off shotgun, fuses and this Bren machine gun. The 12 arrested have been bailed to reappear in the Maitland local court on July 27.
What do you think are the main issues in the Hunter?
Well, I don't know. I don't read the political story because I tell you that much bullshit, you don't know which is right and which is wrong, you see. And as far as a politician is concerned, they're all over you now, and after the election they can't get near you. They don't want to know you.
Do you think politicians today have lost a lot of their credibility?
Well, you never see them much. You mostly see them on TV, that's about as far as you get. Once upon a time you'd see the politician up the street quite often. They're like policemen now, they go past you in cars and you only know they're there.
That's true. What about taxes? Do you think we're paying too much in tax?
Yes, pay too much tax. All we're paying tax for is for these loafers to go overseas and have holidays. Now, as soon as Parliament finished, they crowded on the planes and everything and went. And a lot of them were crying tears of blood because the election was on, they couldn't go.
Be that Hawke's not going to make it in this time, by my friends. But we were talking about it the other day, and nobody's really interested in who's going to get in there or not because nobody's really happy with either of them.
I don't know. I don't think any of them are very good now, to be quite frank with you.
You're sick and tired of elections?
Definitely. They're not doing us any good.
Have you heard anything from either party that would make you change your vote? Has there been anything that would sway you?
Actually, this federal election's the one I'm finding most difficult so far to actually decide as to which way to vote. As far as the major parties go, I'm sort of very much disillusioned between the major parties, but there doesn't really seem to be anyone else shining out either, so I'm still unsure at this stage. I think the tax issue is probably the thing that will get my vote.
Do you think Labor has helped small business?
No, I think they've been detrimental to small business. They've been a help to larger businesses on much larger scales, but to small business, no.
Are you happy with the political parties? Do you think they're doing a good job?
Yeah, especially the Labor government. I like the Labor. They're doing a good job.
Do you think they look after the human, social issues?
Yeah, they cover everything fairly well, I think. Yeah, I'm quite happy with them anyway.
Oh, I haven't really taken that much notice to it at the moment, but probably not.
Are you disillusioned with the politicians?
A little bit, I suppose. I'm not really that interested in it.
What do you think are the main issues here?
Oh, geez, I wouldn't know, really.
I haven't really been following the news very much lately, but I think the environmental issues are fairly important in any election. I know the Queensland rainforest is always an important issue at the moment. other important issues? Well, the taxation one is an important one, I guess, but doesn't really affect me very much because I don't pay any tax. I'm obviously interested in education and what they're doing about that. There's obviously a lot of concern amongst students about the possibility of reintroducing fees. That has a lot of people worried.
Has anything that either of the major political parties said made you want to change your traditional vote?
Well, I'm not a traditional voter, I swing. And frankly, I don't like any of them. I don't like the Liberal or the Labor Party at the moment. I don't think they've, like I said, they haven't made the real choices. They haven't brought out the real issues, but have to be made. And I'll be looking to probably a more radical type of party who are prepared to fight and express some more views on where this country's heading.
I don't like the party system. I think it's like gang warfare, where strong personalities tend to dictate political platforms and the voters left to vote in the lesser of two evils. One can't select the best policies offered by both parties. I think that every voter before an election should have a list of pre-election promises made and whether they're fulfilled or not.
Just wondered what you thought were the major issues.
I don't have a clue. Not interested either.
You're not interested in politics at all? We're doing a survey on the election. Just wondered what you thought were the major issues.
Oh, tax for one thing. Tough. The other ones, probably, it's good to see Hawke bring some money out for the poor. They always need it. I don't care who's in government. Anything else? Oh, I don't know, not really.
Taxation. That's my opinion anyway, taxation.
Excuse me. I'm doing a survey on the election. I just wondered what you thought were the major issues.
Oh, well, I presume taxes at the present time, because no one, to put it crudely, the whole thing's balls up.
Would you go... Have any of the political parties said anything that would make you change your traditional vote?
Lately, no. Maybe just because, as I said before, Newcastle's such a safe Labor seat. I think it's just about time we let them know a little bit, and I might just change my vote, just to let them know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's a lot of unemployment here, more than most places in the state, I suppose. And we're in a Labor area that Labor just don't seem to worry too much about Newcastle. My opinion.
Since the loss of the dockyard, I guess employment's a huge factor in Newcastle, and it doesn't look real crash hot, does it, at the moment? Yeah, I'd say employment's
Do you think Labor's done enough for Newcastle?
No, I don't think so. By no means.
Why do you think that?
Well, the state of the place is in, and I guess one of the reasons is the Newcastle people can blame themselves because they continually vote for Labor.
I just wondered what you thought of the major issues.
Oh, I'm a Labor man, so I'll be voting Labor as usual. Anyway, I've got to catch a bus. I can't be. Thank you very much.
To me, most parties today are fighting the man on the opposite side of the party, not getting on with the job. And then when they do get on with the job, they make the job that confused that the ordinary person hasn't got a bloody clue.
Do you believe their policies?
No.
Do you think the government's doing enough for pensioners?
I think so.
So I'm quite happy with what the government's doing for pensioners.
Do you think Labor's doing enough for pensioners?
Well, yes, they are, but of course things are that bad at the present time. Well, they're doing their best.
I wouldn't say I was really happy, but they're the best of the three evils, I think.
Have any of the political parties offered what you think they should to the small business person?
No, I think they're taking away our rights by not encouraging the tourists here, like one particular party. And I think in this is a little rich area, and the people that do come here will spend. You know, they don't hesitate, where your local people hum and ha about prices.
A lot of them are just saying all these things just to get in the power, and once they get in the power, they turn around and take things back off us. Well, I don't think they can drop the tax bracket down anyway. I think things are going just smoothly as the way they are now, and the deficit's coming down slowly, and they're trying to help the poor people, and they, to me so far, like I've only been in business for about 8 months now, and to me they're quite good. They're not really affecting me at the moment.
I don't think we should be having an election anyway, and that's the most irritating part. We had a stable government. Whether it was the government I wanted or didn't want, I'm not stating, but we had a stable government and there was no necessity for an election.
And the Labor Party don't worry about the rural industry at all. They will look after the factory worker and the metropolitan citizens, where your voting power is. It's as simple as that.
I think the present government what's in, I think they're doing a fantastic job.
The 3642 pulled into Newcastle with 300 people on board, including First Fleet organisers, school children and even stars of Silver's Circus. Wally Franklin from the First Fleet project says today's steam train arrival is the first of many activities for the region up until the arrival of the First Fleet in Newcastle in April next year.
Well, the idea is that this is a train bearing goodwill from the First Fleet Festival, which is developing around Botany Bay in Sydney, and on board the train we have children from the First Fleet Festival coming up on this, the First Fleet of the Land, which the train has been called and which has kindly been donated by the State Rail Authority, and those children are bringing goodwill in the form of seeds which will be handed on to children here in the Hunter Valley. This is all to do with the arrival of the fleet in Botany Bay in 1988. The reenactment voyage, as you well know, is on the way from England. They're now approaching Brazil. They're due in Botany Bay in January. And a very large community festival is developing around the arrival of the fleet, and that festival is spreading to other parts of the country. And this trip today is part of that process of bringing the word out about the arrival of the fleet to the rest of the community.
No, I don't think. I think interest rates.
Ian McLaughlin's visit to the marginal seat of Hunter follows closely on last week's visit by NFF Executive Director Andrew Robb and New South Wales Farmers Association President Michael Tooth. Although the NFF says it's still non-political, it's maintaining its position as a strong lobby group in the lead-up to Saturday's poll. Last week's edition of the Land newspaper published a letter to all Australian farmers from Ian McLaughlin, urging the rural community to make its vote count. The NFF says the growing national debt, which it claims is increasing by more than $1 million an hour, interest rates and union power are issues yet to be adequately highlighted in this campaign.
And we've spent the last 3 years trying to get that debate going. We got it going, no difference in the campaign. Focus people's attention on the fundamentals and say, look, you know, for goodness sake, farmers at least, and small business, because we've been working with them as well, the Chamber of Commerce and ASBAR. These are the fundamentals. Focus on them in this election and don't regret it in 6 months' time.
Also in the Hunter region today, Liberal spokesman for primary industry, Wal Fife. Mr Fife says the Liberal Party's rural policy is similar to the National Party's and aims to encourage farmers to stay on the land.
Now, the Liberal Party has a very firm commitment to reducing the size of government and reducing the deficit. By doing that, we will bring interest rates down, and interest rates, of course, have been at record high levels, and those high levels have been caused by Labor government policies.
Meantime, Ian McLaughlin will be attending a special forum tonight in the Singleton Civic Centre at 7:30.
You know, they've come down.
Entries are well up for this year's Newcastle Junior Pepsi Squash Championships, which began yesterday. Over the next 3 days, more than 200 competitors will contend for the titles in the 11, 13, 15, 17 and 19 years age divisions at the Charlestown Squash Centre. However, Newcastle's 3 top-seeded girls won't be there. They're now competing in the Australian teams event in Adelaide after being selected in the state under-19 squad. Greg Lawrence in the white is #1 seed in the under-17s boys after reaching the finals in the New South Wales titles last month. But Newcastle's hopes will rest with Cessnock player David Hearn, tipped to be the local favourite to make it to the finals. Brant McIntosh in the yellow will be contending in the under-15s titles, and it won't be an easy job. The event has attracted 7 of the state's top 10 players in that division. First round games and semis will continue until Thursday, when the finals in each age group will be played. All are tipped to be crowd pleasers.
Hello, I'm Jane Button. Tonight I'll be reporting on a visit to the Hunter by Federal Finance Minister Peter Walsh. Senator Walsh was on the defensive over interest rates, but denied that the government is putting pressure on the banks.
For all the news,
join us tonight
at 6.